Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Julyesvicka Gita Darmahatari, and I'm going to tell you about article summary. So here we go. The first article here is the title of this article is a review of studies on cognitive and metacognitive reading strategies in teaching reading comprehension for ESL, English Second Language, or EFL, English Foreign Language Learners. So this article was written by two authors. They are Aziza Emali and Abu Bakar Rozali. So they from Faculty of Educational Studies, University Putra Malaysia. So this article, the audience for this article is English language teacher who are seeking to support and improve their reading class due to applying some teaching strategies in the reading lessons. Not only English language teachers, but also English language learners use it to make a reading strategies. So this article present a literature review of 27 studies on the teaching of reading strategies. So the purpose of the research is to how English language teachers teach their ESL or EFL students using cognitive and metacognitive reading strategies to make them better readers. So the researchers carefully choose and evaluate 27 research articles to learn about the many sorts of reading strategies that English language teachers have used to teach their ESL or EFL. So the author's major findings are generally it can be inferred from the examination of 27 carefully selected research articles that teachers are aware of the necessity of the teaching reading techniques in the reading classrooms. However, the reason behind their decision to adopt this reading practice with their ESL or EFL students were not evident. So the authors believe that the choice made to employ these tactics are highly significant to maximize their success with the ESL or EFL students. So the authors argued that rather than employing the same tactics throughout the term or year, teachers should choose the best strategies that are appropriate for the students' requirements. So next, next article is students improve in reading comprehension by learning how to teach reading strategies and evidence-based approach for teacher education. So this article was written by two authors. They are Healthy Coach and Nadine Support. So the audience for this article is the English language lecturers or university students who are majoring in education to teach reading strategies. And then the purpose of the research is that the teachers elaborated knowledge of how to apply reading strategies is essential for them to deliver high quality reading instruction lessons. So for future teachers, knowledge about scientifically based reading programs and with this, the ability to teach reading strategies effectively is an essential presuppositions for their learners to become good readers. And then the author's findings are the present study examine the effects of RT. RT is intervention group on the reading skills of students majoring in education. So that have suggested that RT can be effective for improving students' strategy, use, and reading. Furthermore, RT is effective not only in primary school settings, but also for EFL university students. So this result indicate that RT is a potent method for increasing the reading skills of university students' research result. For primary school students, our RT program is more complex because there are additional teaching materials to support self-regulated learning. And then the university students were trained without this material, but obviously we nonetheless adapted the program so that we could foster the university students reading skills appropriately in these interventions. And then to take the reading strategy training to a university level, we use age and context appropriate text for students to practice the reading strategies. So next article is about an analysis of English teachers' strategies in teaching reading comprehension. So this article was written by three authors. They are Yulia Enggarwigati Wibowo, Syafriza, and Syafraidin. So they are from English Education Study Program, Department of Language and Art, in University of Bengkulu, Indonesia. So the audience for this article is English language teachers who want to enhance and improve their reading classes by using basic reading comprehension teaching practice. It is used by both English language teachers and English language learners to develop reading methods based on the syllabus and curriculum. The teachers use tactics based on the researchers, indicators, and learning purpose. So, the objective of this research is to find out the teacher strategies in teaching reading comprehension at one of the senior high school in Bengkulu, Indonesia. So the finding of the survey indicates the teachers use this strategy in all stages. It occurred because the students were most likely unfamiliar with the meaning of an unusual word, and 3 of 12 strategies for teaching reading were not used by the teachers. The researchers come to some conclusion on analysis of English teachers' tactics in the teaching reading comprehension based on the findings and discussions. So, for teaching reading comprehension, the two teachers use 9 of the most common strategies, like question generation, question answering, encouraging the use of dictionary, predicting, monitoring comprehensions, and generating text, skimming, scanning, and summarizing were among the skills tests. And then the teacher utilized these tactics to help students comprehend the reading material. So teachers employed a variety of teaching strategies and varied them depending on the material or genre of the text being studied. So the process of teaching learning reading comprehension was made more interesting. And the next article is about teachers' strategies in teaching reading comprehension. So this article was written by 3 authors. They are Gendis Nadira Dwining Tias, Dedi Sofian, and then Hilda Puspita. So they are from English Education Study Program, Department of Language and Art, University of Bengkulu, Indonesia. So the audience for this article is English language teachers who are seeking to support and improve their reading class due to applying some teaching strategies in reading comprehensions. And then not only English teachers, but also English language learners use it to make various reading strategies in the future. So the purpose of the research is to find out the teacher strategies and how they apply the strategies in teaching reading comprehension in the 2nd grade of junior high school 9 in Bengkulu City. So the finding of this survey indicates the teacher's point of view to have a good quality of teaching reading comprehensions, and the combination of strategies was very beneficial, like using diverse strategy. They feel most comfortable studying and then understanding topics, and the findings were also like are to earlier research on teachers instructional research in instructional practice. So teachers employed some tactics in the pre-reading stage, while reading stage, and after the reading stage when implementing their strategies in teaching reading comprehension. And then the teacher strategy contribute to the development and readable idea. So the result of this, teachers coupled the method with other strategies such as games and jokes on a technical level, and it was designed to make it easier for teachers to assist students in mastering subjects. Not only the meanings of the word, but also the context of the text are presented in a lighter heart but serious manner. So it was critical to use a combination of strategies to assist a student in mastering understanding. So the next article is about reading comprehension problems in a reading section of TOEFL test. So this article was written by three authors. They are Dini Febriani, Aufrida, Fernandita Gusweni Jayanti. They are from the English Education Study Program, Department of Language and Art, University of Bengkulu. So the audience for this article is that the lecture can provide reading to comprehension knowledge to students, hence reducing reading comprehension issues during the TOEFL test. So the purpose of this article is to analyze the problems faced in the reading section of the TOEFL test, and then the author did not write in the research question in this article. So the finding of this article, the survey indicates that the majoring of students in the 8th semester English Education Study Program was struggle with reading comprehension on the TOEFL test, and the first reading issues involving the reading comprehension process. Furthermore, if readers are uninterested in the subject matter, they might stop reading. When students read articles or text, they have a challenge to vocabulary and idiomatic usage, like grammar and the meaning of some difficult words. So finally, when students read articles or text, they experience problems connected to technical terms. Okay, the next article is about effectiveness of VIVE strategy in teaching reading comprehension. And then this article was written by Wiki Teddy Rahmawati, Yunita Mutiara Harahap, and Ramlah. So they are from the University of Awalisya, Medan, and the audience for this article is English teachers and then language learners. So the purpose of this research is to find out the improvement of students' reading comprehensions taught using the VIVE strategy. It proposed to identify the effects of VIVE strategy result compared with a conventional strategy on students' reading comprehension. So the findings of this study was to see how effective the VIVE method is at improving students or pupils' reading comprehensions, and to achieve the goal, the hypothesis was written as HA if the T observed value was more than the T table, and if the t observed value was less than the t table. The tests were carried out to determine if the hypothesis was effective or not. So the result of computing the test for both groups revealed that the experimental group's mean score was greater than the control group. Okay, and then according to the findings, the VIBES method had a considerable impact on the students' reading comprehensions, and there was a significant difference. It means scores between the experimental and control group, like a 40.66 and 10.33, and then indicating that HO was rejected and HA was accepted. And as a result, this study can conclude that the VIBES approach had a considerable impact on students' reading comprehensions. Okay, next. Okay. This article about students' motivation in learning online of reading comprehension narrative text through Google Classroom. So this article was written by three authors. They are Novia Wulan Ari, Testiana Deni, Wijayati Ningsi, and Dodi Mulyadi. So they are from Muhammadiyah University of Semarang, and the audience for this article is English teachers, and then of course English teacher who wants to make a learning plans in Google Classroom as attractive as possible so that students are not bored and bored. So the purpose of the research is to describe the students' motivations in learning online narrative text on students' reading comprehension through Google Classroom of 2410 grade students at SMK Muhammadiyah Kradinan. So the finding of this article, when students learn online narrative text on students' reading comprehension through Google Classroom, students were also interested and respond favorably. And then the result of this finding is a questionnaire and revolved this, and students found Google Classroom to be valuable in that it made it easier for them to understand English, and that it made their studying time more efficient. However, students with medium motivation felt less happy when studying English via Google Classroom. Like, for example, as a result, each student's motivation was fair. There was high motivation, medium motivation, and low motivation. So the current research suggests that using Google Classroom to teach reading comprehension narrative text is successful, and it also supports students in increasing their motivation to read narrative text. So next slide. Okay, the article talk about a question answer relationship, QAR strategy in critical reading on narrative text. So this article was written by three authors. They are Julyesvicka, Rina Herlina, Didi Farida, and the purpose of this article is to figure out the way the teacher implements the QAR strategy in critical reading on the narrative text, and investigates students overcome the difficulties in answering the narrative text question by using the QAR strategy in critical reading. So the finding of this article is based on the result of classroom observation. The teacher had implemented all the procedures of the QAR strategy, and then the teacher began to measure activity of teaching and learning process by questioning students about their previous knowledge of the material. So a result from this article is the question answer relationship strategy is beneficial for students, not only in answering a question, but also in understanding the text, and that it can aid students critical reading in answering narrative text questions based on the result of the data analysis collected through classroom observations, interview, and student relative journal. Okay, next article is about the use of flipped classroom model in reading comprehension. So this article was written by Rizal Fahmi, Lilis Yulia Friatin, and Leni Irianti. So they are from Galuh Ciamis University, Indonesia, and the audience from this article is English language teachers or lecturers. And then this article will show them how a flip model in reading class works. So the purpose of this research is to investigate the teacher's method of implementing flipped classroom in the teaching, narrative text, and reveal student perception of the teaching model. So finding from this article is the result of the questionnaire. And then the writer concludes that the majority of the students view the flipped classroom model positively, and then the percentage of positive response for each questionnaire statement were higher than 80%, and with the lowest percentage rate of 82.6%. So, okay, the result of this article to use of flipped classroom. So the majority of students agree that the use of technology in the flipped classroom approach benefit them, is such as WhatsApp as the media of learning outside the classroom, and to connect pre-classroom and then in-classroom sessions. Okay, next. Okay, next article about the use of story phase to improve students' reading comprehension by narrative text. So this article was written by two authors. They are Vera Alfiana and Aswir. So they are from Muhammadiyah University of Jakarta, and then this article, the audience for this article is English language teachers and then English language learners. So the purpose of this article is to analyze reading using story phase through visual material story phase. And then the finding of this study was based on the researcher who studied the result on the t-test, paired sample, pre-test, and pro-test from the student above the discovered teaching English by using narrative text. And then the learning approach is beneficial in boosting students' reading comprehension because the t-test value is higher than the DFT value. It means that teaching English with a story phase improves students' reading comprehension while employing narrative text. So the student in the experiment class had greater reading score after the story phase therapy, and then they had a before treatment. And then the result of this article is this strategy improves youth reading significantly. So it can be concluded that this technique had a positive impact on students' reading achievement and yield improved result. Okay. Okay, what is the relationship between each article? So it can be concluded that reading strategies, teaching reading, reading comprehension, learning reading, it means that when the learner practice a strategy, they has a consequence in the head, like a plan for comprehending, and where skills are used without conscious planning. Comprehension involves constructing meaning that is reasonable and accurate by connecting what has been read to what the reader already knows and thinks about all of this information until it's understood. So comprehension is final goal of reading instruction. So reading comprehensions is the ability to understand what are you reading. So teaching reading should be related about reading comprehension, and then of course with reading strategy. So learning reading is all about this. Okay, next is, all right, thank you for watching. Hope you had fun and see you again. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye. Stop recording.